Good evening, YouTube. How you doing tonight? Son of a bitch. Okay, I just got a call from one of those cell phones that keep offering me health care. It's a 269 number, and there's like a dozen of them, and I never answer them. Sorry about that. Anyways, YouTube, how you doing tonight? I was left a comment on one of my videos earlier that I'm going to talk about. Adam McMillan asked what the voice says. You know, the stupid bitch I'm always complaining about. Well, first she says, intertrip idle violation in 60 seconds. Or intertrip idle in 60 seconds, I believe is what it actually says. And then 60 seconds later, or 30, or 2 minutes, or however long she feels like waiting, it says intertrip idle violation. And what that's telling me is that the truck has been idling for long enough that the computer is incensed that I'm idling and not having shut off the truck. Because sitting there, just sitting here idling at what it idles at about 600 RPM, the truck will burn about half a gallon of fuel per hour. So if I idle the truck for, a 10-hour break, that's 5 gallons of fuel, maybe a little bit more than I've burned. Which is roughly $15 for the company. I know, you're probably thinking the same thing I am. Big whoop. Okay, now take that $15 per day and multiply it by 20,000 drivers. Times 365 days a year. Now you can start getting the picture a little bit. It's, what is it, Wednesday night? I think it's Wednesday night. I'm not quite sure what day it is. I'm not home today, so it doesn't matter. I'm at a pilot in Mississippi. That's a little loud. Tanker pulling out. I got a Swift lease truck sitting beside me. I got a flatbed sitting on the other side of me. And I've seen actually quite a few Swift trucks pull through this tiny little truck stop here in the middle of Mississippi. I have a 7 a.m. firm 7 a.m. delivery time for a live unload. Then I go pick up almost 200 miles away another load, and that takes me all the way to Wisconsin. That's like, that load itself is over 900 miles that I'll be doing part of tomorrow and part of the day after. Technically I have until the 11th to deliver that, but I should be there on the 10th. I hope. I don't know. I got up early as shit today. I know yesterday I said, so I'm trying to find a place where that light flare won't bother me and you can still see me. Alright. You don't need to see me that well. You remember me telling you yesterday I had a noon loading appointment right around the corner from where I was delivering. Well, the original delivery time on that order that they sent me was yesterday evening sometime. But when I got the load, Jenna told me that it actually had a delivery window until midnight tonight to make that delivery. Well, they freaked out about 2 a.m., started messaging me saying I was late, and finally about 4 a.m. local time, it would have been 3 a.m. Central, they yanked the next load from me because I was late on the previous one. And I'm like, okay, I had a noon appointment for loading that load that I could not be early for. They said I couldn't be early for it, and I had until midnight to deliver the load before it. So did you want me to deliver the load before, backtrack 40-50 miles, and you got to remember this is like 8 miles per gallon max, okay? The Kenworths get a little bit better gas mileage, but yeah, my Freightliner maxes out about 8 miles per gallon. So would you, I'm like, would you rather have me had delivered the load on time, because it was still on time. I had until midnight tonight to actually deliver it, according to what the receiver wanted. Not Swift, but the receiver. Backtracked 40 or 50 miles to find a place to sleep, and then gone back to the same fucking place to pick up the next load? You're not paying me for that. You're paying me 1 fucking mile from the delivery to from the delivery to the shipper of the next load. What's wrong with me delivering the one and then picking up the other? Right there, right then. They yanked the load from me. They gave me this load going out to a Family Dollar distribution center in, I remember the name, Indianola, Mississippi. So apparently that's what they wanted me to do. Deliver the one load last night, drive away, find a place to park, and then come back at noon and pick up the other one. But this load to Mississippi is more miles, so it pays more. I'm going to have to get up at like 5:30 in the morning. I'm back in Central Time, but I have to get up at like 5:30. I'm 56.4 miles away. However, I'm also taking Highway 82, which has had some spots that I have driven through so far that were 35 miles an hour driving through town. There is not an interstate that runs this direction. It's like a large area with no interstate between. Actually, right next to Interstate 55, that's a north-south interstate. It's not going to help any. So, yeah. Matter of fact, I think I passed this. I didn't stop here, but I passed this point going up north on 55 when I went through Jackson to fuel on my way to Ohio, I think. Yeah, it seems likely. Yeah. So anyways, long story short, the miles are good this week, but and I'm not running a time I greatly dislike. I mean, yeah, I did want to sleep until 8 this morning because I hadn't gotten up, hadn't gotten to bed until 11:30, almost 12. So I didn't get a whole lot of sleep, but it was driving all during the day. Well, okay, it was still dark when I started driving at 5-ish. Yeah, it was about shortly after 5, and it took me until shortly after 8 to move 90 miles because Atlanta is stupid as fuck. I mean, one place you had a semi that ran out of fuel that was blocking up traffic for 5 miles behind it. Another one was a crash because of the slippery conditions because of the rain that had come in the past few days. And if you didn't know before now, the rain is the most dangerous when it first begins to fall. All the dirt and grease and oil that comes out of the tailpipes on dry pavement builds up and builds up and builds up, and when it starts to rain, you get this oily slick on the road, and it's nasty. But it's the most dangerous right after it starts to rain. And then after, I don't know how long it takes, usually after an hour in a decent rain, it was supposedly raining really hard. I didn't see it. I didn't see anything that was hard rain, but whatever. After you get, half an hour to an hour of that shit's all washed off, mostly washed off the road, and it's not as safe as dry pavement, but it's a hell of a lot better than right after it starts raining, too. Not something that worries me. I keep looking around, and I've noticed this on other videos of mine that I watch. I keep looking around and hardly ever at the camera. Well, that's because the only thing I see when I look at the camera is me. And I'm not narcissistic enough to just watch myself like that. So I have to force myself to look at the camera. The rest of the time I'm just, looking around, like the guy that was, the flatbed that was just pulled out of parking next to me. He must have been on a 30-minute break or something. It's, 6 p.m. now? This truck stop is starting to fill up. Like I said, I've seen a bunch of Swift trucks. Not all company trucks, obviously, because Swift does not fuel at piloted Flying J's. But the guy next to me, he's a lease. He's got a Kenworth T680. I can't see his truck number. It's a 2017, and it's a lease, not an owner-op. You can tell by the numbers some things. Well, I can tell it's a Kenworth T680 because there's I don't know if you can see it, but there's a 680 right on that door. T680 right on that door. It's an automatic transmission I saw inside his cab when he got out. What else do you want to know? I don't know who he is, never saw him before. He's another Swift driver. There's about 20,000 of us. I've actually never run into the same driver twice, other than one of the people that was with me in my orientation. I did see her again when I met up with George, my second mentor. She actually approached me, and she remembered my name, which I couldn't remember hers, and she was mad that I had gotten George as my mentor. She wanted George as her mentor. So I'm like, I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. I don't know anything about the guy, but apparently he must be good. George is great. I would like to see George again, but I don't know if he's even still driving. He was talking about quitting OTR, turning his truck back in, going company. He was talking a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know if he ever did it. I hope he's happy. Whatever. But this video is getting a little long, and if I go over 15 minutes, YouTube is a little bitch. Yesterday, my 17-minute video, I had to upload twice because the first time I uploaded it, YouTube said, nope, it's too long, and deleted it on me, and then made me verify my account. So I think I'm good for longer videos now. Don't know. Not going to push it. But hey, YouTube, I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon.